Just when you thought Hyundai's crossover lineup was complete, I'm here at the 2019 New York International Auto Show, where they've just introduced an even smaller SUV. This is smaller than the Kona. This is the all-new 2020 Hyundai Venue. Let's take a first look. So under the hood of the new Venue, unlike the Kona, it's got a different powertrain. Now, if you guys are looking for all-wheel drive, sorry, you're gonna have to buy the Kona. This only comes with front-wheel drive, and the only engine is a 1.6-liter four-cylinder with dual-port injection. It makes around 120-ish horsepower, Hyundai says. They don't have final numbers just yet, and around 113 pound-feet of torque. Now, those numbers are pretty puny, but remember, this is gonna replace the old Accent hatchback, and it's only available with front-wheel drive, which means this vehicle will be lightweight, somewhere around the 2,500 pound mark. Now, those of you who want a manual transmission, you can actually get a manual on the base SE version. It's a 6-speed manual. The optional transmission will be Hyundai's first ever CVT. They call it an IVT transmission. You guys have seen that transmission in the all-new Kia Forte. So that new transmission allows this thing to get up to 33 mpg combined. At least that was Hyundai's preliminary estimate. So it should get really good fuel economy. Just remember that all-wheel drive will not be available on the Venue. So in terms of the design of the all-new Venue, as you can see, Hyundai has been introducing an all-new design language. They're really changing out the look of all of their vehicles, and this really has an interesting look to it. I really liked what I saw with the Palisade. This takes everything that I liked about the Palisade and applies it to a smaller package. Now, if you guys are a little confused on where the Venue fits in the lineup, this is essentially a replacement for the old Hyundai Accent hatchback, which they never introduced for the all-new generation. You can see the front fascia has their new corporate grille. It's got the divorcement of the headlights and the actual LED turn signals here. These LED headlights that you're seeing on this one with the LED running lights are actually optional. Halogen projectors will be standard, because remember, this is a base entry-level model. You'll have an incandescent turn signal at the front fascia, and again, I get a lot of Kia Soul here in the design of this vehicle. Hyundai says that this is not based on the Soul, it's actually based on the Accent platform if you actually look at the actual proportions. Now, when you look at the side profile of this vehicle, it's an interesting look again with the two-tone. I love the blue with the white on the mirrors and the roof. The wheels are either a 15-inch wheel as standard or a 17-inch wheel on this particular one. Drum brakes are going to be standard. This one has an optional rear disc brakes on the 17-inch wheels. You've got a front independent suspension and then a twist beam semi-independent at the rear. Now, in terms of the size, the Kona is already a small vehicle. The Venue is 5 inches smaller than the Kona, if you can believe it, at 158 inches long, at a wheelbase of 99 inches long. This is pint size. This is going to be perfect if you guys live in an urban environment, being able to park this thing practically anywhere. Now, at the rear, I kind of get some vibe here from maybe Audi Q2, Fiat 500L, kind of. It's a much more better looking look than the Fiat, especially. Love the two-tone here. It's got these LED combination rear taillights. No visible exhaust tips down here. You've got your reverse lights look like in the lower fascia with more of that white trim accenting it. Now, in terms of the cargo area, even though this car is significantly shorter, Hyundai says the cargo capacity is still around 13.8 cubic feet of space with the seats up. It's only like 0.5 cubic feet less than the Kona. If you want to fold down the seats, it does drop about 14 cubic feet to around 32 cubic feet versus the Kona, so you will pay for that as well in the cargo area. But let's hop into the interior and check out the actual space in the front and the rear seats. So for the interior of the all-new Venue, you can see this is a small car on the outside, but surprisingly, it feels really spacious on the inside. You can credit that boxy shape. It kind of reminds me again of the spaciousness I feel in the new Kia Soul, but remember, those two don't actually share a platform. Now, for a base model, or for the entry-level model in Hyundai's lineup, the interior is surprisingly nice. Now, the dashboard is a hard-touch plastic material. It sounds a little hollow, but I'll excuse that because of where this car sits. It's got hard-touch plastic on the door panels, which is kind of the same as on the dashboard over here. And in terms of the steering wheel, it's got a tilt telescoping adjustment, which is nice. You have an 8-inch touchscreen display, which is actually standard. If you guys want Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, it's actually standard. Embedded navigation is optional. I do like the floating tablet style screen. And Hyundai's been listening. They actually shrunk the size of the black bezel surrounding this, so it looks a little bit more integrated. Looks a little bit classier. This one here has a single zone automatic climate control with another screen right here. The car's not actually on, but it does look relatively premium in here. Even though the materials aren't the best, you have good storage over here. This controls the IVT transmission. You do have heated seats over here, and then you have a little drive mode selector here. So I will be looking forward to actually driving this vehicle. Now, another thing I want to talk about, the seats. They're kind of this cool little gray fabric with the leatherette here with the blue accenting stitching. So the car's very unique feeling. It's got a sunroof above me as well, and you can't even get that on some of the competition. But overall, the space feels nice. It doesn't feel that much smaller than the Kona. Actually, it feels a little bit more roomy than the Kona if you're asking me because of the box shape. But let me hop into the back seat and see how the space compares. So getting into the back seat of the Venue, you can see because of that box shape, it has a really nice large opening here. And in terms of the space, this kind of reminds me a lot of a subcompact car, but with an extra dosage of headroom here. The legroom, Hyundai says, is around 33.2 inches. So it is on the small side, but this nice almost flat floor kind of helps. You have no rear seat vents, which I wasn't kind of expecting, just one matte pocket, and then all the door materials are hard touch plastic. I wasn't expecting an armrest, and there is no armrest here in the center, so I kind of wish they included that, but I do like the two-tone seats that's kind of carried over here. Now, Hyundai didn't actually have any pricing yet, but they did say it'll go on sale in the fall of this year. With the Kona starting at around $19,900, I would estimate this would be cheaper than the Kona by a couple grand, so you'll have to look at the pricing of the previous generation Accent hatchback to kind of determine that, but it'll be interesting to see how this car does when it actually does go on sale. For Redline Reviews at the 2019 New York International Auto Show, I'm Soph Youngbae.